Hi there, this is Jen, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am sharing some cards using the newest release from the Seven Kids Craft Store. There are 3 stamp sets. They are called Winter Fun Fairies, Fairy Winter Dance, and Feeling Frosty. And I will be using the Winter Fun Fairies stamp set. I wanted to say real quick, in case you hadn't seen it around on social media, Kelly has sold the Seven Kids Craft Store, so this project and then my next video will be the last projects that I will be doing for the design team, and it has been a pleasure to be on this design team. Kelly is awesome, as well as all of the design team members. It was just a super good group of people, and so be sure to check out the Seven Kids Craft Store because Kelly is having a lot of really great sales. And so stay tuned to that so that you can get in on some really great deals for craft supplies. So for my cards, I have grabbed a die from my stash and created these mountains. And I am taking a baby wipe and going over that with the Creative Expressions Enchanted Gold Gilding Polish. Kind of gives it the same look as you might get with kind of like that pearlescent paper. And then for the little snow caps for that die, I just colored those up in Stone Blue from Catherine Pooler. And then off screen, I colored up all of the images that I will be using on the 2 cards and my alcohol markers. And I end up making shaped cards, circle shaped cards. It wasn't my intention when I started, but when I was going to use the circle die and put it on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base, and then just looked really bare. And so I just decided to create the cards into and make them into the shaped cards. So I did some ink blending with some Distress Oxides and Tumbled Glass and Salty Ocean. And then I'm just going to take my tape runner and adhere those 2 mountains to my circle piece. So usually if I know I'm going to make a shaped card using a die, I will use the technique where you do the off the edge die cutting, which just basically means you have your card fold and then you don't cut on the card fold. You leave that portion off of the edge of your cutting plate so that it doesn't actually cut, and so you have a hinge. But since that was not my original plan, I kind of had to go backwards a little bit. So I'm going to show you the wrong way to make a hinge, and then I'll show you the right way. For some reason, I couldn't think of the correct way to do it. So what I did was I made a paper hinge using the dies. So I creased a piece of paper and I ran that circle die through my die cut machine. So I have this little piece of paper that has a fold in it, and I am taking double-sided tape and I will adhere both of those circles to that hinge. But it's kind of a messy way to do it, and it leaves a gap at the top. And then after I put it together, I tried to make a score line so that it would fold a little better. And it kind of works, but I don't know that I'll be sending this card out because it is kind of imperfect, I guess. And so after I have that card put together, I'm going to take my pieces and I put a little piece of foam on the back and adhere those to the mountains. And I went ahead and used a sentiment from my stash and put that on the inside of the card, and that will finish off the first card. For the snow on this card, I wanted to mention that I used Eileen's glitter snow through a stencil, which I believe was a honeybee stencil. And so for my second card, I am again using the circle shape, but this time I'm using the Creative Expressions dies, and they are called, I think it's called a scalloped die. And so I went ahead and I cut 2 of those out. And I'll show you a better way to make a hinge for a card in this video. So I am grabbing this birch tree stencil, which I believe is honeybee as well. And I'm going to use the pumice stone first and just take my blending tool and go really lightly over the stencil. And then I'm going to take the weathered wood and just put it, kind of make a harsh line against the edge of the stencil just to define the the tree a little bit better and make it look lighter in the center and darker around the edges. And I do that twice, so I make 2 of the birch trees. And then I am taking some tumbled glass, and it's really light on this background, and go over that background. And then I'm taking this piece right here, which is going to be kind of like the lake. This is actually a Sizzix die, and I go over that with a tumbled glass and Mermaid Lagoon. And then I'm going to wet down a little bit of that leftover ink on my plastic piece and take a paintbrush and add a little bit of splatter to the background as well as that little pond. And then I'm also going to take some Starry Nights in, I believe it's champagne gold, and splatter that onto both of my pieces as well. And it's really light. I hold the card up to the screen, so hopefully you can see it a little bit better, but you can't quite get the full effect of the shine unless you got it in your hands. It is really pretty, and my Gansai Tambi Starry Nights watercolors have been dormant for a while. I think I forget that I have them, and so I've been using them lately, especially for these Christmas cards. And then I just took my VersaFine black and stamped the sentiment, and now I'm going to make my score line so that this will fold and look a little bit better than that first card. And so basically I just decided where I wanted that fold to be, made the crease with my, or the score line with my bone folder. And now I'm going to take some adhesive and then just put those 2 pieces together, and it creates the perfect hinge. It's nice and clean looking from the outside. It looks clean from the inside, and a much better way to do it than what I had originally done. So now it's just assembling the card. I'm going to go ahead and glue down all of my pieces. And I pop up the ice skaters with a little bit of foam as well. And this little mouse, I was going to use both of the mice, but decided it would look a little bit too crowded, especially on this card, and so I chose to use the mouse that had fallen, but he is so cute. It's really adorable. But that is it for me and my cards today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this video or find it informative, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I will have links below to the other YouTube designers, so I hope you check out their channels. And don't forget to stop by and visit Kelly at the Kept 7 Kids craft store and get yourself some good deals on craft supplies. Thanks again for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I hope to catch you next time.